Hello, my name is Russ Timpson. I'm the founder of the Tall Building Fire Safety Network. What you're about to see is a video from our 2025 Tall Building Fire Safety Conference. You can find more other great videos on tall building fire safety on our YouTube channel, and there are many more presentations on our website, www.tallbuildingfiresafety. If you find our videos and presentations useful, please like and subscribe us on our YouTube channel. Halfway through the video, you're going to see details of our 2026 conference, which will take place in May in London. We have a fantastic program, and we also have a separate high-rise firefighting masterclass with Brent Brooks and special guests from around the world. There are also details of our 5-day intensive tall building fire safety management course, which will be running in London throughout 2026, but also in the Mediterranean, in Cyprus and in Malta. This is an ideal course for anybody who's dealing with fire safety matters in tall and complex buildings. So I hope you find these videos useful. And as we say in the Tall Building Fire Safety Network, go high and go well. Thanks.
I'm following those two very digital presentations. This is very analog.
Well, I mean, you've mentioned the golden thread, but I think just
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I wanted to introduce you to the Guardian. This product has been in the EV market now for about 5 years. Specifically now, it's actually part of recommendations. Over 100,000 units have been sold in the EV market. What we've done now is the chap at the front here who developed the product, they've now developed it where it can be included in commercial building markets. So any commercial three-phase supply can now be protected and monitored by the Guardian device. So I'll go into a little bit of what it does. There's two very dangerous sequences of events that happen. One is a broken neutral, and that is when the neutral coming into the building or on a submain within the building either breaks or becomes loose. And at that point, you've got a problem where voltages increase from 240 volt in buildings to 400 volts. And that leads to an increase in the speed of the appliance motors, etc., and can lead to fires. And in a lot of cases, that's already happened. I will go on and show you some instances from around the world, which leads into the second part, which is stray voltage. And that's a direct action that comes after a broken neutral. And that gets to a stage where you get electric current going into the ground and people getting electrocuted from it. So again, we will show instances as we go through. So what are the dangers of broken neutral? Bad connections, breakages in the neutral conductor will cause excessive voltages in the electrical supply, which can lead to, obviously, personal damage to appliances, electrocution, and a high risk of a fire. So this is a typical example, and it's taken from a report that I'll show you a little bit later. Now, every floor should be 240. Now, there's been a broken neutral event, and in this case, that floor is running at 400 volts. So we all know once you go over 240 volts, you're putting a lot of strain on appliance motors, etc., etc., and that can lead to fires, smoke, damage, and unfortunately, sometimes loss of life. This is my little mock just to bring it home to you. We've all had in the past one of these. I've had many, a long time ago, a little hairdryer. If you use that in Europe, it doesn't run red hot. It runs at 230 volts. In the UK, anybody who used to have one of these, they always run red hot, and you dry your hair in half the time. That's already running faster than it's been manufactured to work at. Can you imagine that same thing at 400 volts? frightening. So that will lead to overheating your electrical installation and appliances, causing serious damage or destruction to connected loads, resulting in premature equipment failure, creating a potential fire hazard. So again, if you get that problem within a high-rise building, and it's an appliance, washing machine, any such thing, you've suddenly got a major problem for the fire officers out there. It can happen on any of the floors. In fact, there was a recent incident in the Dubai Marina, 63-storey building, massive fire, and they've actually stated that the fire alarm system there didn't work. And there's a very good chance that would have been, if it was a broken neutral, it will damage the components in fire alarm systems just as much as it will in an appliance. So that is the situation that Guardian can prevent, and it will alert before there's a problem. So instead of a fire alarm system that basically tells you when there's a fire, Guardian will alert you before the fire starts. This is just an example of how stray voltage happens. So you've got the live coming in at the top on one of the phases. It comes down, it goes through the load or through a property and comes out the other side and goes back up on the neutral side of things on the left. Now in this instance, we put a break in it, and suddenly the neutral has got no way of getting back to the transformer. So what it does, it comes back down looking for a route back to that transformer. So it'll go into any earthing situation within that building. So it could be any type of metal load, it could be a railing outside the building, that will become live. So fire officers, for instance, if you've got those two dreaded things, electric and water, you've got a major problem for that chap if he touches something while he stood in water as well. So I will show you instances where this has happened around the world. It's pretty spooky. So this only came out about a week ago, and this is the IET now making everyone aware that there's a massive problem in the UK. Read it for yourselves, I won't go through it all, but the big part is at the bottom. I'll try and read it on my screen. Should be remembered, the NCD can cause hazardous touch voltages to appear on all extraneous conductive parts and exposed conductive parts of the installation, as well as fire, explosion and damage to electrical equipment. Therefore, the IET and our industrial partners strongly advise anyone who suspects NCD to present a report. We've seen, and we've got reports here, there's over 6,500 incidents a year that are reported. That's only reported. There's many, many more that won't be. Now I'm going to show you a couple of instances, one in America and one in the UK. These are steel pipes. The one on the right is in America, and the one on the left is from a British gas engineer. Those pipes have turned white hot through current that's in the ground. To go white hot, you can look it up, that's 1200 degrees C. So when you see these explosions that are put down to gas leaks and whatever, there's a good chance it's not that. It's down to the fact there's current in the ground. The grid system here, the DNOs all over the world, don't want these sort of things known about, because what they do, they pass it on to the insurance companies. And there's massive billions of dollars worth of insurance claims per year. And the DNO know there's a problem, but they don't want to show there's a solution, because suddenly they're going to get the blame for it. Right, so I'm going to just show you some instances from around the world. Some of these will shock you. This, unfortunately, is Grenfell Tower. Back in 2013, you can see there it says, the residents of Grenfell Tower were alarmed to discover smoke pouring from their electrical appliances in May 2013. Laptops, televisions, washing machines and fridges were damaged by an unexplained series of power surges. A surge protector would not protect against broken neutral. So that isn't the case. That prompted the frightened occupants of the 24-storey tower in West London to descend on their estate office, demanding action and answers. The first thing they got offered by the council was £200 compensation. That was it. That's all they got. Now you'll see on the actual main part of this is an electrical contractor who was called in, and you'll see exactly what I've stated earlier. 400 volts is seen across the phases, and you've even got neutral to earth at 230 volt plus. Now if you go farther down the slide, they've actually admitted what the problem is. On inspection, we found loose connections and the neutral cable had mounted away from the clamp conductors and has caused the fire within the riser. Every single floor in a tower block will have a separate sub-supply. Guardian, if you install it on each of those sub-supplies, it would have alerted to that problem before it become dangerous. It would have told the management company, you need to come out, you need to resolve the problem, and Guardian will actually specifically tell them what the problem is, whether it's a loss in neutral, loss of earth, it will do any of them. So once it's installed, it's 24-hour monitoring, but with also the opportunity, if the management company fail to respond, it can shut the supply down on that individual floor, but none of the other floors in that building. This is a report that came on from it, but again, it says exactly the same. As a result of our findings, we need to install new rising main supply from the main service head with new terminations. Going on with the report on this, and it's pretty scandalous when it's 26 pages, quite happy to share it with any of you. The work was put off. They put it back a month. They only did one. They didn't change any of the other risers in that building. So if they changed that one and there was a problem on it, why didn't they do all the others? Just a question that, we've actually thrown it out. We've got a member of the House of Lords. I won't name the chap, but he's on one of our videos on our website. He came to the office and saw the technology, and straight away he's gone back to the committee and the lady in charge of the inquiry. He was just thrown out, didn't want to talk to him. They also then went to the HSE and said, why are you not looking at this? HSE threw it out. They don't want to know. And this is why we want to start campaigning through people like this Lord, that this technology should be installed by consultants on new and old buildings throughout the globe. Everyone's got the same problem. So we're starting to get the ball rolling. We've had a number of companies now come to us. A number of the hotel chains are now coming to us saying we need to look at this. But we need the people like the consultants and that to really get behind this, because it's a safety product that should be installed around the globe. This will show you the shocking side of stray voltage. This young girl was in her garden in Australia. Her family had reported it to the Housing Association that they were getting tingling on metal parts. They sent an electrician out. He said there wasn't a problem. 2 days later, she boiled a kettle, and that load melted the final part of the neutral connection. The neutral side had no way of getting back to the transformer, so it went into the ground looking for a route back. At that moment in time, every metal part outside that building was going to be electrified. And this poor girl was in a paddling pool and turned the tap on at the wrong moment. She's now paralysed, and it's a sad situation. But again, this is all online. You can look it up. But that's a direct result of broken neutral. This has now ended up where insurance companies, the management company, the DNOs of Australia are all in court now because no one can be put the blame upon. If this product had been installed, one, it wouldn't have happened in the first place. But if it did happen, you'd be able to go back via cloud and you'd be able to find out when it happened, what was the cause, and who had been contacted. That would have been over. The people would have been paid out and they could move on with their lives. This is in America. Chap was out with his father just playing football. The ball went over the fence. The young lad went over the fence to get the ball back. The fence was electrified. Killed him there and then. Guardian would have alerted to that before it became dangerous, and it would have shut it down if nobody had dealt with it. This is one with the DNOs. This is in Manhattan. This young lady was just walking down the sidewalk with her 2 dogs. You can see on the right, that's the grate that she stood on. The dog collapsed. She went down to pick the dog up, got electrocuted, and she died. Con Edison, who the DNO are just like all the DNOs around the world, they said there's no solution, we can't do anything. So the insurance payout to the family wasn't as large as it should have been, but they had that little thing about them where they could put doubt in the minds of the court. There's no solution. There is. Guardian would have monitored that and would have informed before it become dangerous and could have shut it down. Since the court case, Con Edison have sent man in a vans out all over New York. Twice a year they test every metal frame of a building and then they drive off to the next one. So that's only tested twice. In between those 2 tests, they're at the mercy of whatever's going to happen. Install Guardian, you're given 24 hours a day monitoring, 365 days a year. Over in America now, it's becoming big money now. Insurance claims are through the roof, big in the farming industry and everywhere else. But you can see from this company's stuff they've already sent out, electrical fires with electrical causes over 140,000 fires each year, resulting in 4,000 non-fatal injuries, 400 fatalities, and 1.6 billion in property damage. Insurance companies, and we've had it in the EV sector, insurance companies have now started to catch on to this. And in one instance, one of the major car showroom people, I won't name it, they're Japanese, their insurance company have turned around and said, unless you can install some kind of shutdown device, then we won't insure you. So they came straight to Matt and the company, and we've now supplied the units that will give them monitoring and shutdown. They've now insured those showrooms. To bring it nearer to home, this was an instance at Newbury Racecourse. Now they had a damaged cable underneath the parade ground. The Guardian would have alerted to that before any horses went anywhere near it, and it could have either, as we say, alert the management company or would have shut it down. 2 horses were killed outright there and then. They were both owned by, I believe, J.P. McManus, and that would have led to massive insurance payouts for those horses. That could have been avoided very easily with a very simple device, very easy to install and very cost effective. This is Northern Grid. Now, this wasn't 500 houses, it was 750 houses. They actually, if you look at the reports online, they said it was like a war zone. All the street lighting was popping, houses were smoking, all sorts of damage was carried out, all down to, as it states there, a neutral fault coming out of the transformer. It's a broken neutral. Leading on from that, the insurance companies were just hit with the bill, hundreds of thousands of pounds. That was a DNO problem. There is a solution that should have been installed. Insurance companies need to go back to these people and say, look, I want that technology fitted. Then you're going to get insurance cover is going to go down. There's not as many claims. But DNOs are one of the biggest problems for this.
The Guardian is a British design technology and a revolution in electrical safety that also helps contribute to a reduction in carbon emissions and environmental pollution. In a world where we rely so heavily on electricity to power our homes and businesses, a fault on the electricity network and wiring infrastructure of your building can have serious consequences. Faults, such as breakages in the supply neutral conductor, can be caused by a multitude of unforeseen circumstances, such as roadworks, corrosion, or general wear and tear across an aging electricity network. Broken neutral events happen every day without warning and are not detected by your building's circuit breakers, RCDs, or surge protection devices. A broken neutral event on the electricity network can cause danger of electrocution, high voltages that lead to overheating the electrical installation, causing serious damage and destruction to critical loads, expensive machinery, and connected appliances, leading to premature equipment failure and creating a potential fire hazard. For the first time ever, there is a worldwide solution to protect against these broken neutral faults. The Guardian protects property, equipment, and building users from electrical faults on the supply network and in the building infrastructure that no MCB, RCD, or surge protection devices that are currently available and installed can detect. In this instance, the incoming supply is undamaged and enters both apartment blocks. However, danger is lurking. The neutral to the fuse board that supplies floor 5 has broken loose. High voltages are now present in the apartment supplied by this fuse board, and a serious incident is about to occur. While other apartments supplied from different fuse boards within the building may not be aware of any electrical fault, the high voltages would damage electrical appliances and could cause fire to break out. The fire alarm electronics could also be damaged by high voltages and may not be able to alert the building users, which now becomes a danger to all floors and unsuspecting homeowners. With the Guardian monitoring in place and connected to this fuse board, an early warning would be sent to the building management company or owner as this fault was happening, and an electrician could be sent to repair the fault before it became a danger. The Guardian can also isolate the specific supply to that fuse board if the situation is becoming unsafe. The Guardian incorporates the patented OPEN technology and can detect faults including loss of neutral, broken pen conductor, stray voltages on any bonded service including gas pipework, voltage on protective earth and ground conductors, high and low line voltages, high and low frequency. The Guardian can connect to a web-based portal where each device can be viewed remotely. Alerts of any detected faults can be sent to the building user or maintenance company to help warn them before catastrophic failure occurs. With the Guardian installed, monitoring the supply and the building's electrical infrastructure, your building will have 100% detection and protection against the dangers caused by broken neutral faults. The Guardian provides safe, resilient, and cost-efficient power and protective conductor monitoring solutions applicable in all buildings with a 3-phase supply. The Guardian is BMS compatible, an ideal solution for fire alarm designers, consultants, and facility management companies. Get in touch to find out more.
So again, we go back to it. It's a power and protective conductor monitoring. Installing Guardian to monitor incoming main supply and at each sub-distribution board will help limit the risk caused by broken neutrals and help detect stray voltages on bonding services. That's exactly what it does. And this instance here is a unit that was installed on C2C railway. Soon as it was installed, it told them there was a stray voltage present. They went out and tested, and they tested 35 volts on a sign on the main pedestrian walkways. In the right instance, rain, someone with a pacemaker, etc., cause a massive problem for that person. So this again is anywhere with a lot of metal work, any framework like that, this product should be installed. The beauty again with this chap, who is a big advocate for the technology, he's saying this should be installed on every single commercial supply and sub-supply, and he sees the day that will happen. He's a member of the IET. This shows you how the portal works. So we can set this up where you yourself would be able to see every single Guardian device that you're looking after. So if you're management companies and you've got 20 buildings, you could have a Guardian on every one of those floors. It will tell you what the voltage is running at. It will tell you if there's any issues on that network, and if there is a problem, like in this instance, frequency out of range. That will send a text message to your management companies, up to 3, and will also email whoever you want to put it down as your source of that sort of incident, so that they can deal with it and react to it. Again, it will alert, but it will shut down if they don't take any notice of that alert. This just shows you on the left-hand side a typical message that will come up on the phone. And again, the other thing that's great about this, we've been speaking to one of the big railway companies, and what they wanted it for is they've got a problem with the grid. And on signals, the signals every now and again shut down. And what they need to do is prove to the grid it's a grid problem. Whereas at the moment, they're basically not taking any type of blame for this. Sorry about that. So what this will do for railway networks is when there's a problem, it's the monitoring they want. They don't want it to shut down. They just want to monitor rather than have to wait for the grid to come out and people to tell them. So they've got engineers out all over the UK looking for these type of problems. Put Guardian in, it will do it for them. It'll cost them a lot of money, and they will be able to prove to the grid when the problem was, what happened, and give them the solution to the actual problem. But they'll have it all recorded on cloud so they can use that. So what are the target markets? As I said, anywhere with commercial supplies, 3-phase supplies and sub-supplies. So all of these markets are huge for the product. What we've also found is for companies such as fire alarm designers, consultants, this is a product that's very easy to fit. It can be retrofitted in old buildings, and it can be installed on fire alarm systems, both old and new. It's just an easy click-on fix. So there's not one area that it cannot be used in anywhere around the globe. This is the chap I spoke to earlier. He made that comment on the electrical show. The Guardian is excellent. It's got legs, is the phrase. I can read it on here. I can see this absolutely being at every single commercial and industrial installation in the future. That chairman of the Workplace Council then went and gave us the 2023 Safety Award. And that, Russ, is it. So thanks again.